Mr. Brizio, it's such an honor to have you here in the conference. You gave a wonderful speech a while back. Is this your first time to come to Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. It's really an honor to be here at the MENA Information Security Conference. Yeah, it's my first time, and I think this is the first of a number of times, I hope, also in the future. So I'm glad to be here.
Saudi Arabia right now is growing in the dimension of digital space and especially cybersecurity. But what's your intake and your idea about Saudi Arabia right now? Since it's your first visit, I have to ask you this question. What's your impression?
I'm absolutely fascinated. All means actually is a very mature country when it comes to cybersecurity. I think I've read some statistics where you're now going on the very top of the more mature country in cybersecurity. So really, clearly a leading example in cybersecurity industry for sure.
A lot of the talk that happened during the conference was about the speed of which digitalization took place, especially in the past few years due to the pandemic. But is the cybersecurity growing at the pace at which the threat is growing as well?
Well, actually, it's a bit of a mouse and cat kind of a race. I mentioned in my speech that this is a race. And it's an unfair race because clearly the attacker, they just need one opportunity to be successful, whilst we as the defenders need to be right basically all the time. The thing is, they're also quicker than the defenders. They share much more than what we do. So as a defenders, we need to join forces to counterattack, actually. Sorry for the play words, but it's really what it is. Really, we need to go after those guys and making sure that we really fill the gap. So it's clearly this notion of speed that we need to integrate and automation that we need to adopt.
There's a lot of talk happening regarding the zero trust method. What do you have to say about that?
Right. Yeah, it's zero trust, a clear concept that has to be applied. There is no dispute about it. The degree of complexity that we have to manage requires to have a mindset, which is the zero trust, the usual trust but verify. So you don't just have to assume that if somebody got logged into your IT environment, all of a sudden can get access and is trustful. You need to check in every step in the value chain that you have within your company. That's absolutely essential. Can be clearly analyzing from what geolocation the individual is connected, but as well also the basically the pattern that is utilizing to operate, to perform his or her role. It's absolutely important. And then there's also some AI included into it, where you can even understand the kind of behaviors they have and understanding is that a suspicious activities or maybe a malicious one rather than a legitimate one.
Right now, cyber attacks are a threat not only in the public sector, but in the private sector as well, and it trickles down all the way to small businesses. How can we ensure that the spread of using cybersecurity measures are actually effective? Should they be a particular collaboration between the private and public sector, or what is it that you suggest that takes place?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say spot on what you just described. When I mentioned before this closest collaboration, joining forces among defenders, that's exactly what I alluded to. Is joining forces between the public sector, the private sectors, the individuals. Everybody collectively should share the information they have, the practices they have, the experiences they have. Is absolutely essential. Is key that we use. How we use this just to make it more memorable is that the 3C rule, meaning we need to communicate to each other, we need to cooperate, and we need to collaborate. That's the best way to get there and catch up this unfair disadvantage that we have against the attackers.
Well, the digital world is all about forecasting. What do you think will happen in the next 12 months?
Oh, that's a crystal ball kind of questions, even though things are going so fast. I heard people saying, and I tend to agree, that when it comes to the digital world, we think to be halfway through, we're just at the beginning. Maybe it's like in a book, we're just at the introduction. We don't even start the chapter first. So clearly, this fusion of physical, digital, and biological life, it will make us, living in a very different way. We're already changing a lot in terms of the way we work, the way we buy, the way we sell, the way we interact, the way we behave, and the way we act as a consumers. So this will continue growing in that direction. So we'll probably come to a point where it will be difficult to distinguish between the physical life, the virtual life, the augmented reality, the extended reality. So it will be a fascinating world to live in. And let's be actor of it and contribute to this change for the good and not avoiding some downside that might be come along with it.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. That was a very informative conversation. Thank you for being a part of the conference, and thank you for the wonderful speech earlier.
Fantastic. My pleasure. All the very best.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.